Welcome to The Deep Dive. We explore complex sources to bring you the clearest, most striking insights.
And today we're diving into a really foundational text of non-dual thought, the Yoga Vasistha.
Specifically, Book 2, Chapter 17 through 20.
Right. These chapters really set the stage. They're all about the preparation you need, the kind of mental groundwork required before true spiritual inquiry can, well, even really start.
And the claim here is pretty staggering. Our sources say the world, the one you're experiencing right now, it's basically a lengthened dream.
Or an elaborate mental projection. Yeah, it's a big concept to grapple with.
Okay, so let's just jump right into that core paradox, because that feels like our mission for this deep dive. If reality is an illusion, like some internally generated magic show, why is letting go so incredibly hard for us?
Why the clinging? Especially when that clinging involves suffering.
Exactly. We need to understand what binds us so tightly to this dream.
And Vasistha, he doesn't exactly ease us in gently. Chapter 17 starts with a pretty powerful example. Rama asks about the sage Shukra.
Right, Shukra. His thoughts manifested instantly.
Instantly. His mental projections, even fantasies, just popped into reality. And Rama's question is basically, why him? Why did his thoughts do that when ours, our daydreams don't?
That's a great question. It implies the mechanism is there for everyone, but something was different about Shukra.
It was his purity. That's Vasistha's answer. Shukra's mind came directly from Brahma's pure will. So because his consciousness wasn't clouded by desire or error, his thoughts had this immediate power. Vasistha uses the image like seawater forming eddies spontaneously.
So it's not just that he was pure. The implications is that we're all creating reality too, just really slowly. Like wading through mud.
Kind of, yeah. Our consciousness is projecting, but the process is slow, distorted, weighed down by our own mental clutter. So we mistake the blurry result for something solid, external, and permanent.
That really hits home.
Yeah.
It immediately links the quality of your mind to the quality of your reality.
Precisely. If Shukra's mind was a laser, ours are more like foggy floodlights projecting this slow-motion, distorted movie we call life.
So who or what is the projector then? What does Vasistha say is actually doing the dreaming?
Okay, that takes us right into the architecture of this illusion. The texts are really clear. The whole world is a mental construct. And the mind, it's the architect.
The mind itself.
Chapter 20 is pretty radical on this. It says the mind is the true self or person, the Purusha.
Wait, hold on. Purusha as the mind. That's a huge departure from how many traditions frame Purusha, isn't it? Usually it's seen as something beyond the mind.
It is a significant point within this text, yeah. It really elevates the mind. The body, according to Vasistha here, is just a tool.
An instrument for the mind.
Exactly. Something the mind uses to experience its own projections. And the core principle, whatever the mind strongly believes, it becomes. It literally stretches itself out to become the world we see.
But, okay, if the mind's this super architect, why all the suffering? Why do we dream up things that hurt us? If I'm the architect, why is my roof leaking,
Good question. It's not the ability to architect that's the issue. It's the materials and the blueprint we're using.
Man.
We're building with unstable stuff, desire, error, ignorance. So, of course, the structures wobble. Ordinary minds, clouded by these things, perceive illusions. Vasistha even mentions things like ghosts or demons as totally real.
We mistake the unstable projection for solid fact.
Exactly. We mistake the wobble for stability.
Okay, so that leads us straight to the ropes binding us to the dream. The sources point to two main culprits, right? Desire and ignorance.
Desire is number one. It's the primary binding force, the fuel, really. It creates what the text calls the snare of the mind.
The snare of the mind.
Yeah. And it's what drives rebirth. It causes these individual souls, the jivatmas, think of them as consciousness wearing a temporary suit made of cravings, to manifest forms based on those very cravings and mental impressions. Without desire, the idea is the soul just rests, deep, formless stillness.
But hang on, if desire is the engine for all manifestation, even rebirth, doesn't getting rid of all desire mean you just stop? Like, how is that practical if you still have to, live life, pay bills?
That's the crucial distinction and often a sticking point. The philosophy isn't asking you to become inert, like a rock. It's about curbing the binding desire.
Binding desire.
Yeah, the craving, the attachment, specifically the attachment to the results of your actions, the clinging to the illusion that those results define you or your happiness. It's not about stopping action itself.
Ah, okay. It's about the mental dependence on the outcome.
Exactly. Remove that dependence. The energy isn't the problem. It's how we misdirect it towards illusions thinking they'll fulfill us.
Got it. And the second culprit, ignorance.
Ignorance is basically misunderstanding who you are and what the world is. It locks us into this sense of duality, me here, world out there. Chapter 18 says we become trapped in the external.
We completely miss that we're the source of the projection.
Right. We're looking at the movie screen, convinced we're separate from the projector.
And the result of desire plus ignorance is
the endless cycle of incarnation, samsara. Ignorant souls just keep reincarnating. The text uses this image of them clustering like gunja fruit,
interesting,
forming worlds through their collective karma.
Hmm.
The shared belief in the illusion actually reinforces the illusion for everyone involved.
Until
they finally wake up and recognize their unity with the ultimate reality, Brahman. The dream loop just keeps running until the dreamer realizes, oh wait, I'm the one dreaming this.
Okay, so if the problem is desire and ignorance, the solution has to be tackling those head on. Which brings us to the preparation needed for real inquiry. Detachment and clarity.
Yeah.
The path of Vairagya.
Exactly. Curbing desire, steady introspection. Those are the keys. But you're right. We absolutely need to clarify what detachment means in this context. It's not apathy.
Yeah, because people hear curb desire and immediately think, oh no, I'll lose all motivation. I'll just sit around.
Right. It sounds like resignation. But Vairagya here is the opposite. It's described as an active state of freedom.
Active freedom? How so?
It's freedom from the internal things that bind you, the desires, the errors, the illusions that cause suffering. It's actually a prerequisite for effective inquiry because it means cleaning your internal mirror.
Ah, the polished gem metaphor from chapter 17.
Precisely. Purity of mind, free from desires, reflects truth clearly, like a polished gem. When the mind is churning with mental fluctuations, the chitta, it just smears its own stuff all over reality.
So desire activates the chitta and we get this blurry, self-serving, inaccurate picture.
But when the chitta is stilled, purified, the world just appears as it is an empty, luminous projection of Brahman, no distortion.
And once you have that clarity, that stillness,
then the core practice kicks in, inner inquiry, asking, who am I? Chapter 20 is direct. Apply your mind to truth, shun the untrue. It's about active discernment.
Using that clear mind to cut through the remaining illusion.
Yes. And to help with that, Chapter 19 kind of dissolves the rigid boundaries between our states of consciousness.
Waking, dreaming.
Well, to the awakened perspective, neither the waking state, which we usually trust because of our senses, nor the dreaming state with its obviously fleeting realities is ultimately more real than the other.
Both are just mind stuff.
Both are products of the mind's activity. The real goal is turiya, the fourth state. It's not just deep sleep. It's the witness consciousness.
The space from which you watch the show.
Exactly. The deep stillness where you realize you're the awareness watching the projector, not the flickering images on the screen. That's the realm of the truly enlightened.
Okay, let's get practical then. If the mind is constantly projecting, how do we actually mechanically influence it? How do we encourage that stillness? Chapter 19 offers a sort of biological lever, right? Through prana.
Yes, it draws a really crucial physical link. The vital life force, the jiva chaitana, it's stirred into action by prana, the breath.
So the state of your breath directly influences the state of your mind.
And therefore, the quality of your projection, yes.
Okay, so next time I'm stuck in traffic, feeling that rage building up, the ancient wisdom is saying, forget arguing with the other driver in my head, just fix my breathing.
That's precisely the application.
Because the actual fight is happening in my chest, in my prana, not really out there on the road.
Exactly. Agitated prana leads to an agitated mind, which then projects agitation, road rage, frustration, whatever. Calm, steady prana allows the mind to settle.
And that settling leads to a natural withdrawal from being totally hooked by the external world.
Right. It's the mechanical path. Influence the breath, influence the prana, influence the mind, achieve stillness for inquiry.
This seems vital for applying this philosophy, especially when it comes to conflict. If the world is just my mental projection, how should someone preparing for inquiry deal with, say, a difficult neighbor or a conflict at work? Just ignore it because it's not real.
No, not ignore it in the sense of inaction, but the understanding shifts fundamentally. The sources teach that conflict arises from the mind's own state.
My desire, my ignorance, my clinging to duality.
Exactly. The moment you perceive an external enemy, you've already bought into the illusion of separation. So resolving conflict requires internal transformation first.
Because the external is just a reflection of the internal state.
You have to address the source of the projection, which is your mind, your impure thoughts, your clinging desires.
So dissolving the conflict means I first have to work on purifying my own thoughts and letting go of my own attachments related to the situation.
Right.
Stop arguing with the dream figures, basically.
Yes. When you clean up your internal state, the external reflection often changes, or your relationship to it changes, dissolving the conflict's basis. The wise, the text says, see the world as Brahman's empty heart, vast, silent, not a collection of external threats or problems.
Wow. Okay. That is a really powerful summary of the preparation needed for true inquiry. This deep dive into Yoga Vasistha, Book 2, Chapter 1720, it makes it incredibly clear. Liberation isn't about fighting the world out there.
No, it's about transcending the mind's fluctuations, mastering it through, as you said, active desirelessness and deep introspection, cleaning the inner house first.
So we started by asking why letting go is so hard. And Vasistha's answer seems to be, it's hard because we're utterly convinced that the mind's projections are real.
Absolutely. We mistake the movie for reality. We're convinced the illusions shaped by our desires, our errors, our collective conditioning. We think that's solid, objective fact.
But if this whole world, everything we perceive being and non-being, is entirely a projection of the mind's activity, as Chapter 20 insists, that brings us to a final, maybe provocative thought for you, tying back to shukra's incredible power.
Right. If your mind, once purified, truly has that potential for instant creation, what's one strong belief you're holding on to right now? Maybe about yourself, your limits, how the world works.
That if you could genuinely, completely release it right now, how might your immediate reality shift, perhaps instantly, just like shukra's thoughts taking form?
Something to reflect on. Keep that inquiry alive.
Definitely. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.